Hey guys, Matt Paulson here. In this video, I want to talk about 7 weird things that have happened to me in the course of building my businesses. I don't really have a big message behind this video, but hopefully you'll find some of these experiences emblematic of what can happen when you put yourself out there in the world and begin to develop a brand, whether it's a personal brand or a business brand. There are some unique and interesting and weird people in the world, and when they interact with you and your brand, you'll interact with these people's fears, hopes, insecurities, strengths, weaknesses, generosity, greed, and all sorts of these things. People kind of reflect themselves back on you on the internet, and you'll tend to see that in some of these stories. I've had plenty of good experiences with people I've met online. In fact, I hired a guy I met online, my employee Don. Met him kind of by, I think he tried to sell me something once, and we kept chatting, and or buy something from me once. We kept chatting. Eventually, I offered him a job. But this video is not about the good experiences like hiring Don that I've had. It's just about some of the weird and funny and mostly inconsequential things that have happened to me in the course of building my online businesses. So here are 7 weird things that have happened to me as a result of building my online businesses. Number 1, somebody made an illegal translation of one of my books, Email Marketing Demystified. So I got an email offering me translation services for my book, Email Marketing Demystified, once, and I ignored it because I thought it was spam, and I thought they were just emailing every author. They emailed again, like a lot of spammers do, and I ignored it again. But it turns out it was just a guy that really, really wanted an Italian version of Email Marketing Demystified to exist. So he translated the book himself to Italian. He published it under my name. I had it checked out. Turns out it was actually a pretty good translation. I emailed him after the fact and I said, hey, what the heck, you're stealing my content. But then I also realized that, yeah, maybe I don't care that much, because that just means people in Italy can benefit from my book and maybe they'll get some value out of it. He did agree to split half the commissions with me from Amazon on his book sales, which, fine, I don't care, whatever. But of course, I never saw any one of those payments. So the illegal Italian translation of Email Marketing Demystified was item number 1. It was interesting. Item number 2 is that there is an older gentleman that threatened to beat me up from Oklahoma City. So last year, I think it was last summer, there was an older gentleman. He couldn't unsubscribe from MarketBeat for the life of him. Apparently, he kept getting push notifications from his browser from MarketBeat. Didn't know how to turn them off. We actually can't turn those off on our end because of how the technology works. I mean, it's all anonymous, so we couldn't just go find him and delete him. It doesn't work that way. So we sent him the instructions to unsubscribe, and he just couldn't fathom that there was no way for us to unsubscribe him, and he just couldn't follow the instructions we gave him. He just got meaner and meaner and angrier, started leaving just nasty, threatening voicemails, lots of curse words. He said he was going to drive up to Sioux Falls and pay me a visit. He found my address and my phone number and said, hey, it'd be a shame if I showed up at your house at this address and something were unfortunate to happen to you, or it would be unfortunate if you had an accident. And he used all kinds of nasty language, used all, kind of language that was kind of a threat but not a threat. I ended up recording the voicemails and his calls, and I sent them out to my lawyer saying, hey, what do I do about this? I don't really think this guy's a threat, and I think he's probably in his 80s. But my lawyer called the guy and suddenly became a lot less brave and with his language, and Paul was actually able to talk him down from the ledge and get him unsubscribed, and hopefully we never have to hear from him again. So that was item number 2. Item number 3 is that I got accused of manipulating penny stock trading bots. You heard me right. There are different software bots that trade penny stocks and try to find ways to identify which penny stocks are going up and down. We don't have anything to do with these bots. Don't run any of them, don't really know anybody that does, but we were accused of manipulating them by somebody. Anyway, one of the things MarketBeat does is, for marketing purposes, is recreate content using natural language generation technology, or NLG, that we developed. And when a company announces their quarterly earnings, we don't write that article. The computer writes that article, and then we publish that article on our website. So we end up publishing stories about a lot of small stocks that most financial journalists are never going to write about it, because most people don't care about these stocks because they're just small and boring. So we end up writing about a lot of stocks, and somebody thought we I guess the reason we do that is so that people can come to our website, read the article, sign up for our email list, click on an ad, all the usual stuff. But somebody thought we were pumping fake news stories into social media feeds to manipulate kind of trading bots that use these social media feeds for their algorithms for stock trading purposes. So the idea behind the bots is that suddenly, if all of a sudden there's chatter about a specific small stock in the internet, maybe there's a reason for that, and that stock's going to go up pretty soon. So maybe somebody makes a bot that if there is 5 times as much chatter as usual about a penny stock, that you buy it, you hold it for 24 hours, and then you sell it. And somebody thought we were trying to manipulate some of these bots that buy and sell penny stocks. And they even went as far as, at least what they said, I have no idea if it's true or not, they said that they reported us to the Securities and Exchange Commission for it. Of course, we never heard from the Securities and Exchange Commission. And when in reality, we were just trying to get email signups for our mailing list, not trying to manipulate penny stocks or the bots that trade penny stocks. Item number 4 is I got recognized by a subscriber at Yonkers. So my wife and I are frequenters of the Empire Mall. And one day I had a Market t-shirt on when we were shopping at Yonkers, and we were checking out, and a woman working the cash register recognized my shirt, and she's like, said something along the lines of, "Oh, Market, I love that website. Do you happen to work there?" And I told her I ran the company, and then she told me how she loved using the website, using it to research different companies. And typically our audience is a 50 to 90-year-old male, and almost all of them are out of state, and some of them are out of the country. So I was pretty surprised when a female checkout worker at Yonkers, maybe about 50, told me she was a subscriber to our mailing list. I do know there are some subscribers to Market in Sioux Falls, but not that many. And I certainly didn't expect to meet one at the Yonkers checkout. Weird thing number 5. I briefly outsold Donald Trump's books on Amazon. So Amazon has a list of best-selling authors in each category, and they usually rank in the top 100 of the business category if I've had a book out recently. And I think one time I got up to, I think it was number 8 when one of my books came out. I think it was Online Business from Scratch, but it could have been a different book. I can't really remember. Anyway, there were all the usual business authors on that top 10 list. Seth Godin, Jim Collins, Stephen Covey, Tim Ferriss, Dave Ramsey. And there I was at number 8, or maybe it was 7 or 9, I don't know. And right behind me was the President of the United States. So I can say that my books briefly outsold Donald Trump's on Amazon. At least for the week that report was out. Weird thing number 6, somebody impersonated me on Quora. So some of you know that Quora is a question and answer platform where people can type in questions, and then any kind of professional or expert can answer those questions. Well, somebody wanted to do an experiment and see what kind of engagement that they could get by using a prolific writer's ideas on Quora. So I took one of my 500 or so blog posts, or many of my 500 or so blog posts, grabbed paragraphs from them, I think maybe some stuff from my books, and then copied and pasted them as answers on Quora using a fake Matt Paulson Quora account. I think he answered several dozen, maybe even 100 or hundreds, I don't really know how many, questions using my content as the fake Matt Paulson account. But I guess maybe it was free marketing for me in a way, so again, I didn't care all that much. After he was done with his project, he emailed me and said, "Hey, I made a Quora account for you. Here you go." Asked me if I wanted to take it over. He was done with his experiment. He was pretty good-natured about it, even though he was stealing my content. It was rather neat to see Matt Paulson very active on Quora, even though it was my content and it wasn't me. Weird thing number 7 is that I won an award that I wasn't nominated for and nobody told me about. This actually happened last week. There's a website called Ahrefs that shows you when somebody new links to your website. And I saw an inbound link from a domain called globalgurus.org. And apparently they named me to as one of their top 30 global gurus in the category of startups for 2019. And I'm not really sure how legit this website is, since they just copied and pasted my bio from LinkedIn and the site didn't really look all that professional. But it is nice to be recognized, even if it's from a questionable, maybe spammy looking website. As far as I know, nobody nominated me for this award. Not really sure how I was put on the list to begin with. I did find one email from them in my inbox, and I think it went to spam, or maybe I just didn't answer it. I don't know what the deal was, but it was kind of fun to see an award that you won, and the only reason I found out about it is because they linked back to my website and my SEO tool told me about the award. So those are the 7 weird things that have happened to me over the course of being an online business owner. Number 1, somebody made an illegal translation of my book. 2, an old man threatened to beat me up. 3, I was accused of manipulating penny stock trading bots. Number 4, I met a customer at Yonkers, or a subscriber. 5, I briefly outsold Donald Trump's books. Number 6, there was a fake Matt Paulson on Quora. And number 7, I found out I won an award through my SEO tool. So, you just tend to get a lot more interesting experiences, some positive, some negative, when a lot of people know who you are, even if you don't know who they are. I can only imagine that celebrities have to deal with stuff like this to a factor of 10 or even 100. So no strong message in this video, but hopefully you found these stories entertaining and insightful to some of the stuff that you might have to deal with when you begin to build a recognizable brand.